Hello, and welcome to the Powder Room Late Night Edition. I just thought I would come on here live before I call it a night. Welcome to the Powder Room. Come on in. You know you miss me. Come on into this powder room. Let me invite Janae. Oh boy. Come on into this powder room. A guest to join me tonight in the powder room. Hi there, Janae.
Hello, mother.
I hope you don't cause any type of delay or feedback on my phone.
Girl.
But let me adjust my seat.
You see where I want to put you. Oh, my braid's falling. Look at this.
Anyway, Janae.
Yes.
I put up a post earlier, and I was pretty much saying that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, am I sideways?
You need to adjust your phone back. Adjust your phone back like it was. Right. Okay. I put up a post, and I was pretty much saying that if a guy invites you over to his house, that's not a date. And someone said that I know he was talking about me. That I'm pretty much bougie because if a guy invites you over to his house for dinner, drinks, music, that's considered a date.
I just feel that for a person to have your interest enough to invite you over to the house, it has to be a mutual interest in them. That's the only way that you can consider that to be a date. Because otherwise, I ain't coming to your house.
And that's my
I don't like you like that, baby. Not happening. You're strange, stranger danger.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a little sippy on that.
I ain't got nothing.
Look, that's my point exactly. Because if we only talked on the phone twice and we may have only gone out once, what am I doing over your house?
But another thing about that, I feel that sometimes an intimate setting, such as the house, with, wine, maybe dinner, you guys maybe can cook together, just different intimate type things, that is considered a date because it's just you and them versus you having to go out, sit at a restaurant. I'm not going to say spend unnecessary money, but at the same time, spend unnecessary money. Let's see how we vibe just us. That's okay too. We can see how we vibe just us. You just can't make a habit out of it.
Okay. And my rebuttal to that is, to me, that's more of an intimate setting. To have a man, you sitting there admiring yourself, but to have a man cook dinner for you, soft music is playing in the background. To him, in his mind, he may feel like something is getting ready to go down when that may not be where you are at the time when it comes to, just coming over to his. That's a Netflix and chill type of situation.
It is a Netflix. This is a big hand. That is a Netflix and chill. It is. Ooh, that is a Netflix and chill type setup. So I do understand that. Like I said, it's just something that you can't make a habit because normally in real life, I decline dates. I decline come-overs. I decline let's link at the house. What are we about to do? But at the same time, like I said, I think it depends on where you are, what type of self-control that you have, because you can't worry about what his perception may be and what he may be thinking when it comes to the vibe that he's setting with the light music and the wine set out and the romantic gestures and the holding hands and shit. You can't worry about what his perception or his intentions are at that point. You know what your intentions are. You know what you expect and will not do, right?
Okay.
Sometimes it changes, though.
Okay, with the quotation marks. First of all, You can have all of those intentions, but when alcohol comes into play, things change. And a grown man knows how to wiggle you out of your panties when it comes to setting the mood. You all sitting together in an intimate setting. There's candlelights. The lights are dimmed. That's a romantic setting in itself. You're setting
It,
yourself up for a booty call situation. Babe, I see that. Just do like this. Go ahead.
it is a romantic setting. It's a great vibe. It is. But again, I think that's where it comes into play. Let me just say this. Let me just say it like this. Let me keep it all the way 100, which, like Miss Nikki say, it ain't always the man that has to be the person that's wiggling somebody out of their panties. Why can't it just be sometimes that the woman might want to just see some? The woman can just be she can be a willing participant if that goes that far, not necessarily him getting her out of her panties. Maybe that's something that she wanted to do as well. What's wrong with that? You're
The
two grown adults.
baby, the only reason that I brought that up because of the remark that you made.
Pardon me?
The only reason that I brought that up is because of the remark that you made when it comes to a person's intentions. And like I said, you can have the intentions of, okay, I'm just going to go over and have a drink. He's prepared dinner, he's a gentleman. But when you get over there, not saying that anything is planned, but sometimes things don't necessarily go as planned. And
Yeah,
the mood is set.
it is. It is. It's just all cozy.
That's what I'm trying to tell
It's
you.
cozy. I'm about to get about these shoes. I don't want to have no jeans on. Just you kind of want to get comfortable to match the comfortable vibes. And like you said, that's where things just happen. So I think you just have to be interested in a person like that in order to kick it with them at the house. Otherwise, y'all gonna have to stay out the house.
That's what I'm trying. That was my point exactly. Why am I over your house if I don't have a romantic connection to you?
What if you have a connection period that it's okay to sit down and play games or sit down and just sit and talk to each other face to face versus it being something that's out and about? What's the problem with that?
It's not a problem at all because I know what type person I am. I get a couple of drinky drinks. The music is set. He's saying is, make yourself at when he says make yourself at home,
I'm moving in.
you get
Don't
to
give a shit.
look, you get to kicking your feet up. You're having a good time. He says, let me give you a massage. Those massages lead to other things. That's why I'm saying that when you accept an invitation to someone's house to have dinner, drinks, or whatever, be prepared to say yay or nay because something may typically happen.
Yeah, I get that, and that's why, like you said, if you get a few less drinky drinks in your system, so maybe if you take your ass over there, don't you drink nothing. Get you some water.
No, baby, this is the who I was. I can handle those type of situations now. Because it's kind of funny to me if I go over to someone's house just to see how they come at me. It's almost like a game that they don't know that I know how to play. So I wouldn't dare put myself in a situation to be over someone's house and feel uncomfortable that something is liable to happen.
Yeah. That is a lot.
Look, you can you can go and have these speeches all you want to. Well, I'm just trying to take things slow. I'm not really looking for anything romantic. You can give the whole spiel, but like I said, once that alcohol kick in, all that conversation is out the window.
Yeah, and I think another thing too is I don't even think men hear you when you say shit like that, because men kind of act thirsty. Kind of just, if a woman tells you no, or I'm good, I'm okay in that area, you gonna keep on trying. You gonna keep you just gonna keep trying. You didn't hear me?
First of all, sometimes a no will turn into a yes. And like I said, all these things are, thank you. I just prefer not to go over to someone's house, bottom
So,
line, and have dinner.
so do you feel that you should set a 3 day minimum or so, or what do you think the rules or the guidelines should be when it comes to going over somebody's house? What are the guidelines?
I don't think that there should be rules or guidelines. I think that you should go with the feeling that you have, when it comes to, even if you want to have sex with someone on that night, that's up to you.
Hmm.
Everyone has a chemistry. Well, some people have chemistry and things just sometimes go in that direction. You may not
Hmm.
even plan it to go like that, but if you have a physical attraction to someone, sometimes all of those things just take over.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say, with the people that you know that you have physical attraction with, stay out the house. Stay out the house.
It don't necessarily have to be the house. It can be the car. It can be, just someplace random. When you have a physical connection or attraction to someone, sometimes things happen.
Okay, so that goes back to the original question. Is a dinner, well, no, let me just go back. Dinner, drinks at the house is a date. I've been on a few. That doesn't mean something necessarily happened, but it was
But
intimate, one-on-one type deal. I'm able to see you cook. I'm able to be in your element to see exactly how you vibe. I'm able to see you in your comfort zone. I think that's a good thing. That's a good plus that you can see ahead of time versus, like I said, sitting at the restaurant with somebody all stiff back, because they're more of a representative out in public than they are at their house.
okay, but you go see, this is the thing. What I'm saying is that if there is a physical attraction to that person, it shouldn't be a problem you going over to their house. But I'm saying initially, I'm not going over to someone's house just because they invited me over for dinner and drinks and I don't have a physical attraction to them.
Of course not. You damn sure. What you going to the house for? That's automatic. We ain't even gotta have that conversation because that's already out. If you're not interested, you're not going. Period.
Mm. And that's what I guess I should have made myself more clear
Yeah.
when I said that asking someone on a date uh, to your house is not, asking someone out on a date to your house is not a date.
So now you think it's a date.
Mm,
Uh huh. Uh huh. It can be if you're attracted to them.
yeah, basically, bottom line.
Yes. Bottom line.
Bottom line.
So, I was talking to my homeboy earlier, and he was telling me about this chick that he was talking to, and how she was saying different things as far as like things that make women stand out in dating. How she approached the guy and basically said, "Let me take you out." And she took him to a restaurant, ran the bill up, and that was her way of showing, I guess, that she was different from regular or other females. What is your perspective on women taking men out? Because before I let you answer that, I feel I don't have a, I'm not taking you out to no damn 5-star restaurant and, hey, let me take you out, pop some bottles, get you some. I ain't doing all that. My idea of me taking you out would be maybe come ride with me. And, I can show you some stuff that way. Like we can vibe in my element, riding or you know, going to a sunset watching, or going to some cute shit, something simple, but not no going and running them no tab in the restaurant. So what you think about that, Cleopatra?
Well, first of all, when someone asks you out on a date, they should take you somewhere that fits their pockets. So you won't have to worry about a person taking advantage of the fact that they've asked you out on a date and you're going there ordering things that you normally would not order, lobster and filet mignon and all these expensive things just because someone took you out on a date. To me, that's just taking advantage of someone. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my take on that.
And
Even if
that's
someone, excuse me, even if welcome
bad.
to the power room, come on in. Even if someone were to ask me out on a date, I would not take advantage of the fact that this person is paying for the meal and just buy everything or order everything that's on the menu just because I'm on a date. That's scandalous.
Yeah, because I honestly feel that people should not expect someone to take them to places that they cannot take themselves. Right? Like if you can't go to a place by yourself and afford to take you, that's not fair to expect somebody else to take you somewhere that you can't afford to take you, right? What you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
You
Like I said,
really?
wait a minute, say that again so I can make sure I heard you correctly.
I said I don't really feel that it's fair for people to expect other people to take them to places that they cannot afford to take themselves.
Well, I guess it all depends on that woman. Some men try to impress a woman knowing that that's not where their pockets are at, knowing that they can't afford that particular meal, but they want to impress her. So they start off that, you know, early on in the situation. Let me see. Some people going to be alone for the rest of their lives. So picky and choosy. There's nothing wrong with being picky and choosy, especially if your life is involved.
But I feel like, Brian, I feel that a lot of people are probably going to be, excuse me, alone based off of different standards that are, some things are unreasonable. I feel that some people should look at different things and ask themselves, is this something that I can tolerate as the person is, not necessarily us nitpicking with certain things that's happening. But once you look at a person truly like where they are and ask yourself, is this some shit that I can deal with? If you know that you can't, go on, be alone. If it's something that's, not a big deal, try it out. Things can change. But there are deal breakers and then there are things that are work withable.
Hmm. So you can see Brian's comments, so I don't have to read them. Okay.
Yeah, he said, at the end times, if any women that don't have a husband is going to.
That's not necessarily every woman's goal. Every woman's goal is not to have a husband. And I don't know why some people think that having a husband automatically makes you a whole person. You could be a
You
whole
have to be
person
your own.
without a husband.
You have to be your own whole before you get with a husband. But the reason
Well,
why I'm ready for it,
oh,
I said you have to be your own whole person before you get together with a partner. You know? And like I said, me personally, I'm in need of a husband. I'm ready for a husband because I take care of me. I see how well I know how to take care of me. I need help taking care of me. So while I'm taking care of me, he gonna help me. And vice versa. I'm gonna help him with him too. Because everybody needs some help with this shit. Don't nobody want to do this by themselves? Which, I don't know. Some people want to. I'm opting out.
oh my God, sneeze coming. Excuse me.
Oh, oh, girl. Oh, girl. Bless you. Oh, no. No, ma'am. No,
I feel a
ma'am.
sneeze coming on.
No, ma'am.
What is that?
He said that's He said that's called colorism. They have picked so many bad deadbeat baby fathers.
And I get so tired of people talking about how the woman chose a deadbeat baby daddy or whatever. Every man starts off a certain way in the beginning of a relationship or a situation. They're not going to show you that they are a deadbeat father or they don't take care of their children, this and that. Um, all of us bring our representative first, and then later on you find out that this is not the person that you even met. So I don't think that a person intentionally go out and seek someone that's not going to be responsible. Brian?
Yeah, but sometimes we can see. Sometimes we can see while dealing with people. If you're talking to somebody and they don't really talk about their kids, you don't see no kids, hear no kids, nothing. Then what you expect when it comes to, if you were to have a kid?
Well, first of all, in the beginning of a relationship, your concerns are not with his kids or his past. Your concerns are you trying to get to know this person. I think that we all put on our blinders when, initially when we're trying to get to know someone. There are signs along the way, but we don't hear it because we're blinded by what we see ourselves being, and that's his woman, or, that's my man. So all of us, I think, go into situations blinded.
I had a thought, and it just
I'm
went
just
away.
saying. I'm just saying.
What did we're getting to know that man? Yeah, but at the same time, if he has kids and you're getting to know him, you don't want to hear anything about the kids. Like, you don't want to know what the dynamic is. If he gets the kids, if he spends time with them to see what type of father he may be to those children.
I'm not saying that's me. That's not what I look at. I think that that's very attractive in a man, when you're dating someone and this man talks about his kids or he spends time with his kids. I think that's very attractive in a man. What I'm saying is that initially you're trying to get to know that man and spend time with him. You're not really worried or concerned with what else the other baggage that comes along with him. You're trying to
Right.
see how you fit in. It's almost like a selfish thing. Some women just want that man all to themselves and they don't care anything about the children that he may have or whether or not he's taking care of those children. That's what I'm saying.
Brian said they're going to be in trouble with God if they don't have a husband in the end times. The man's supposed to pick the woman that he wants to be with. God said when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. And men are they have animalistic instincts. Men naturally hunt. They will go where they want to go, and they will find that woman that they want to be with. So it's really no work that we got to do. We got to get out the way and let them find us. So we have to be available for them to find us.
So,
not us.
Okay. With that being said, does that mean that we don't have any say, any
Say so?
huh?
Say so?
Yeah.
No, not saying that at all. I'm just saying when it comes to a man, men know what they want. Men know how to pursue. They know how to ask a woman out. They know how to get a woman's attention. So we have to sometimes allow men to do those things. That goes back to when I was saying how my homeboy said some men like for women to show them what they're capable of in reference to taking him out on a date. Little things like that. Let him pursue you. Oh, that's the other stuff come. Why your face screwed up?
No, because I was thinking, I have no problem. I ask if I'm interested in someone, I will ask you out. So I'll ask you out, and 9 times out of 10, that person is going to take care of the tab. Not that I don't even think about that at the end of the day. When she brings the ticket over to the table, I don't think like, let me get this. That doesn't even cross my mind. Because the type of guys that I deal with, they just are gentlemanly enough to, I got this. I'm gonna take care of this.
Yeah, some men find that to be deal breakers too, because I've heard it on more than twice. A lot of men That's like a test for women when the bill comes on whether or not we're going to even attempt to touch it, or whether or not we're going to attempt to say, hey, let me at least tip. Little things like that count, so they say.
Well, don't test me. Don't test me
So if
because
you ask a man,
go ahead.
so if you ask a man out, aren't you the person that's expected to pay since this is your plan?
The only way that I would pay or attempt to pay is if he said something. And again, I don't deal with those type of men that I have to even worry about him coughing or excusing himself away from the table before the tab even comes. To me, that's not a gentleman. I don't want to be tested.
Yeah.
Look, you little young fillies, y'all can handle those tests. I don't test me.
Brian said, y'all have to stop the picking because it's not women's place. So stop with the judging men. He ain't got this and he ain't got that. Look at his heart and how he treats you.
I've never said anything about what a person has because I don't care what he drives. Some guy told me he wanted to take me out or whatever. He said, I have a nice home, I have a nice car, I have a nice job. I don't care anything about that. If we don't have a connection, if we can't communicate with one another, why does it matter to me what you have? Those things don't move me. I can care less. See, what one of the problems is, guys, yeah, guys try to. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you kind of faded out for a minute.
I'm sorry. I said I'm with you on that because these days I'm dating strictly qualities. Qualities. How you talking to me, how consistent you are, what type of characteristics you may have in a man that will will be beneficial as a family. So you have to date people for their qualities, especially, and not what they have. What type of character do they have? How do they handle
Mm-hmm.
um how do they handle situations when shit hit the fan? How well do they handle conflict? How do they work under pressure? Different. How do they problem solve? All of those things are so important. Can they make a decision and just say, okay, boom, this is what we're gonna do, or they gonna keep asking you questions? All that shit important.
It
And
is
after you
now.
get to know all that type of stuff, it don't even matter what you look like, because either you're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
more attractive based off of the qualities that you offer, or you're gonna be less attractive based off of the qualities that you lack.
Mm-hmm. Because believe it or not, Janae, I don't look at his physical attributes anymore. Those things don't move me. It's all about a conversation. Because to me, one of the number one deal breakers for me is inconsistency.
Oh yeah.
If a person is inconsistent, I don't have time. I'm not going to even talk to you. I met someone and we didn't get past two conversations over the phone. So we didn't even get a chance to make it from those two conversations to sit across the table and have dinner with one another because he was inconsistent. And to me, that tells a
Yeah.
lot. You know, I can't stand that. That cuts you off.
I,
And I had to tell him. I had to tell him. I said, I'm sorry, baby, but you are too inconsistent for me. This is not going to work.
yeah, and that's good to recognize people's patterns in that way too, because once you see stuff like that, it lets you determine how you want to deal with that man, because he's showing you consistently who he is. It's whether or not you gonna see it or not. Because a lot of men, if we get out our own way and stop thinking that it has anything to do with us, that man has been consistently the same him.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the pattern, whether it's consistent or inconsistent. I'm sure he's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
That was deep. That was deep.
Woo, that's what I'm
Brian
talking.
said, Brian said, if a woman is good to a man, he will give her the world without her asking, just like a mother. She don't have to ask for nothing because she showed you love, and he will give her everything he got because she showed him love.
Mm-hmm.
What men don't understand, Brian, though, a lot of women have things that they want to offer and give to you guys as men. But until that man shows that woman that he got her, she not gonna show him shit. Men have to show women initially, hey, this is the type of man I am. I want to do A, B, and C for you, or whatever the case may be. Show her what type of man that you are. And 9 times out of 10, once that woman feels secure and you showing her that you're locked in, she got you. But she not gonna have you before you got her. You have to show her that y'all good, and she got you.
And Janae, that's one of the problems because those what you just mentioned has been reversed.
Yeah, women, we showing men we got y'all,
Right.
and we don't know what you got for us.
Exactly.
We're not secure with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like I said, we have to let men hunt and show us how they can take care of home, and then you got her.
Mm-hmm.
See, Shonda, you are a mature older woman. That's why looks and money don't mean nothing to you. Well, Janae, looks and money don't mean nothing to Janae either. Hello?
Maybe. Oh, Brian, all I can tell you is that has come with time. All of that has come with time. Because I think I see a delay in my voice, but I've been with someone that bought me cars, clothes, gave me money, and pretty much gave me whatever I wanted. So now, those things don't mean anything to me. And I asked him, when he and I got into an argument, he said, "You know why I do these things for you?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you would never meet another man that would do the things that I do for you." And that kind of messed me up for a long time because I started looking for other men. When I was dating other men, I started looking for those characteristics in other men. And like I said, that kind of thing messed me up because that wasn't realistic. And he did it for selfish reasons because he knew that another man could not compete with what he was doing for me.
Yeah, and that is a form. That's a form of emotional abuse in a sense, because you have this type of hold on me where you're pretty much telling me and showing me and giving me everything, and now that is going to set those expectations up for the next man and the next man to fail, because realistically, folks not out here doing that shit. They're not.
Something. Don't you know? In my relationships, I wanted allowances, and that's like I said, that shit messed me up because that wasn't realistic. Guys looking at me like an allowance, although some did, some didn't, but they did take care of some things. But I had to realize to myself, this is not that was almost like a fairy tale life you was living.
Oh,
This is
do
real
you hear
life
me?
being now.
Do you hear me, baby?
I'm dealing in some real life stuff. You can relate, Janae. You've been in those situations.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can't bring no fairy tale and then try to expect everybody else to fulfill that fairy tale. That's situational, baby. Everybody not gonna do it the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brian said, but a man don't trust that because a lot of women play games. We don't know who to trust and who not to. That sounds like a issue with y'all, because women have issues with trying to figure out who to trust and who not to trust to. But we come in vulnerable enough to open ourselves up to try to see if we possibly could. A lot of men just shut down automatically.
Right. And let me ask you this question too, because I feel like when you're initially trying to get to know someone, how much of your past do you share with them? Because to me, I think that we go into situations sharing too much of our past with a person that we don't even know we have a future with. So I think that, some things you need to hold back on sharing because I think we share too much.
Yeah. I think a lot of times when it comes to sharing with me, I don't really share too much of my past. I'm pretty much trying to talk about where I'm headed, the different things and the different things that I'm working on at this moment for my future. Different aspirations and desires that I have for tomorrow from today. Not necessarily, I was with this person and this is what happened and every time I went. No, I don't really dwell on the past at all with talking to new people. I don't think I've ever brought up any type of situations from my past with talking to new people. Nothing that's related to relationships, nothing that's related to any type of drama or mess or, anything like that, unless it applies to something that's important for us to know about each other moving forward. Other than that, it's really irrelevant. That ain't got nothing to do with them.
Hmm. And you know what? Most people don't know how to date. You all right, Jay?
Yes, people walking by.
Most people, like I said, don't know how to date. They don't know how to have a conversation with one another. What do you talk about at dinner? What do you talk about, Janae, over dinner? First
I
date.
just let stuff flow. First date, let me see what we talking about. We just let stuff is flowing. What do you do? Okay, what you want to do with that? Oh, what made you want to get into that? Oh, that's interesting. Tell me about it.
Oh, you one of those type daters.
It flows. No, it's not just you getting interrogated, but I'm saying the conversation is based off of different things that's just naturally flowing based off of what we're talking about at that time. It's not just well, what about your ex? How many relationships have you been in? Do you want? No, it's not like that. It's genuine, natural conversation that's just flowing, and each question, each answer leads to another, conversation naturally. What about yourself? What do you talk about?
Baby, I'm a fun date. I don't. Why you look like that? I don't like to feel as
What do
though.
with me asking you?
Excuse me.
What they got to do with the questions of what type of stuff y'all talk about, baby? I'm fine too. We have a good time over here.
Baby, what I'm saying is that did not sound fun. Those
To you?
No, the questions that you're asking should have already been talked about over the phone.
Not necessarily. What's going on?
You're making me nervous.
Girl, I'm sitting in this car.
Like I said, to me, I pay attention to how the conversation is flowing. Because if that person is only doing the talking, that means that it could mean that he's nervous, or could mean that we don't have a connection with one another. Because most of the time when guys are talking, they forget to ask you about you. It's almost like, hey, I'm over here. You haven't asked me shit.
Yeah, just talking.
Just talking.
Just talking.
And that's such a turnoff. And then too, I kind of like, okay, let me take it easy on you because you may just be nervous.
And that's what I've learned to do and just let stuff go naturally, because when you really sit and think about it, you're sitting there with a whole fucking stranger. You don't know me. I don't know you. We don't know anything about each other. So as far as like what comes out, what types of questions come up, you don't know because you don't know that human. You just met. So you have to like not judge that. You have to just see how it just flows, because people do tend to overtalk when they're nervous. You don't know them at all.
Well, it's just, to me, it's just
which is probably why you shouldn't be in that damn house.
To me, it's like common courtesy. If we're having a conversation, you should not be the only one talking about what you have, what you drive, how much money you make, all of those things. To me, it's almost like my ears are starting to ring now because you're over talking. I don't like talking to someone and all they do is talk about material things. I don't care anything about that.
Yeah, but we are literally walking resumes. We're walking resumes. So when it comes to them saying what they make, how much they make, and all that type of stuff, they're just trying to impress you. Telling you, feeding you shit they think that it's important for you to hear. Shonda says all the time she is not looking for looks and money, but all the younger women say they are about looks and money on Facebook. Shonda, I know it. That's what Brian said. Tuki said, what is this topic about?
We're talking about dating, Tuki. We're talking about dating. And what I said is that um, some people don't know how to date. Some people don't even know how to hold a conversation, because that's really a big deal. You invite someone out to dinner and you all sitting across the table from from each other. You have to hold a conversation. It has to be some type of interest there. I don't want the typical questions. Where you see yourself in 5 years? I don't want the little boring questions. I want it to be like we're almost buddies, we're almost friends. We're joking with one another. Somebody got to loosen it. Somebody got to loosen the conversation up, because most of the time people go into dating stiff as a board. You're trying so hard to impress one another. You're not even eating your food because you're trying to be so damn cute. He hear your stomach growling, but you're trying to be so cute to impress this man that you don't eat as much. You're not even being yourself. People just need to start loosening up.
And that's why most dates should be
fun dates.
That's why most dates should be in a fun type of environment. Because if you're sitting in a stiff back ass restaurant, of course that's what it's gonna be. You have to be in an environment where you can freely be yourself, so that y'all can just freely vibe and just go with the flow. Go with the flow.
Mm-hmm. Well, I see Sweet Tea peeping in every once in a while. There's nothing like a stiff, boring person that you're sitting across the table from.
I went out to dinner one time. I couldn't even hear this man. First of all, I can't hear you. I said I don't know. I said I don't know.
Janae, let me give me an example.
So what do you like to? I said I can't hear you. I can't. I said huh?
No, Janae.
He had an accent. That's first of all. I said, I don't know if you got your sexy voice on or what. I said, I can't hear you.
No.
I can't hear you. No. Latanja Millhouse said, where is a fun place to date?
To me, it all depends on if you're a fun person. You can't take a boring person to a fun place if they're gonna be damn stiff. So to me, it goes back to what type of person that you are, because you don't take a first date to the movies, because we can't get to know each other watching a movie.
Yeah.
You can read that, Jenna?
Yeah. Cookie said, some things come from your childhood and how you was raised. So some men don't even know how to hold a conversation and respect the woman the right way because they haven't been taught the right way. What's up? Hold on. Hey.
That's true. But Tuki, you would think that over time.
Oh, no worries. Okay, I'll go in. You too. I gotta go inside. It's a curfew on the property.
No, not a curfew.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Tuki, you would think.
Finish reading. He said more.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, some men don't know how to hold a conversation and respect the woman the right way because they haven't been taught the right way. Nowadays, that you have women that are raised the wrong way. So the only thing they think about is showing a man her body. What attracts me is a woman's mind more than anything. That's sexy as hell. A woman that has sense and go out to her goals. So I like to add on stuff like that. If I'm dealing with someone, my conversation is everything to me. Great conversation, great relationship. In dating, the only way you have fun is when the both of y'all are not uptight and letting your guard down.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I think what you just said.
What you just said.
Janae, can you mute your
Can
phone
you
while
mute your
while
phone
you
while
move
you while
around?
you move around? I'm sorry. I don't know how.
I have some
I have
feedback on
some
your end.
feedback on your end. Okay, I may have to exit out and come back in. All
All right.
right. How I do it?
Baby, push that red button. Okay. I think what you said is so important, but you have to think about if a person is of a particular age when it comes to dating and having conversations with people. So I think that all of those things that you're mentioning come with time and experience. You know? Because like I said, when I go out with someone, she just muted her phone. When I go out with someone, I'm being myself. I think I am anyway. I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. I'm genuinely trying to get to know you, and I want you to let me get to know you. But most of the time, when you go out with someone, I don't know if they're nervous. She's coming back. I don't know if they're nervous, but they're talking just a little bit too much about themselves. And Tuki, you're a man. Tell me why that is. Why do men talk about themselves? And they don't pretty much ask the woman any questions. I pretty much have to, if I'm talking to someone, I pretty much have to jump in the conversation to talk. Because the whole conversation is about what they have or what they've had. That's boring. I think my daughter's going to tune back in. Let me put I got to look like this, sweet tea. Yes, I agree. There should be chemistry between the two of you in the way what happened. It's about enjoying the place and getting to know one another. Yeah. And sweet tea, like I had mentioned before, I think that, when we first get to know someone, we overshare. People start sharing too much too soon. I don't need to know about your wife, your ex-wife. I don't need to know about those things. I just met you a few hours ago, and you're already telling me about your ex-wife. And that's why I say a lot of people don't know how to have conversations. What do you talk about? So, I don't know. I don't know. And I think the fact that I've been like a radio talk show host for almost like 4 years. I don't like going into situations like I'm interviewing someone. So I pretty much try to be myself at all times. So it won't come across like I'm this radio show personality and I'm interviewing you. I think some people just try to impress more than anything on the first date instead of just. I agree. I agree. I just think, dates are too stuffy these days. But the initial conversation, Tuki, was um, do you go over to someone's house? Do you consider going over to someone's house a date? That's what we initially were talking about. While I'm sitting in the powder room, I guess I'll get myself ready for bed. Whew. Janae, you have to send a request so I can add you again. Come on into this powder room, Janae. Come on in, come on in. I have to add you again. Sure, going over to someone's house can turn into a date. Like there's conversation, drinks, engaging with each other, eye contact. Yeah, but like I said, sweet tea, I don't see you, Janae. I don't see it to add. Like I said, sweet tea, I think that that's more of an intimate setting, and something should have already been established in the beginning for you to even be at this person's house talking about you on a date. To me, that's too intimate of a setting, especially if I don't know you like that yet. You are allowing a total stranger in your comfort zone. That's a no. I agree. I totally agree with you, Tuki, because I'm not going over to someone's house and we don't have that type of connection. You know, we don't know each other quite that well yet. You know? It's just not comfortable. Yeah, this is the powder room. My Janae is trying to get back on live, but I'm not sure. Well, I'm referring to someone you're comfortable with, not someone you just met. Oh, of course. To me, it just has to be some type of connection. I have to be comfortable with you. I have to be attracted to you. To be at your house having dinner. I think that's a step after that initial meeting. But I think we're going to come and do this a little bit more often in my powder room. I miss you guys. Tuki, is this your first time in the powder room? Because I'm going to have to start adding some of you guys to join the conversation. Because I love to hear your perspectives. This your first time in the powder room, Tuki? Janae Tuki asks, what are you doing? I think she's trying to figure out how to join live again. Okay. Okay, great. Janae, are you coming back into the powder room? Let me know. Oh, my other daughter is friends with you. Nikki, Zakia. Sweet Tea, have you ever invited a guy out? Have you ever asked a guy out, Sweet Tea? Well, I don't know what that's about, Janae. Janae Tukey said you too young to not know how to work that app. I went over to a gentleman's house after communicating with him for 6 months. It's 3 months. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just wouldn't okay, Nikki, okay. I just wouldn't go over to someone's house. Well, I'll take that back. You never know. Never say never. Janae, you did just fine a few minutes ago. I was able to add you on and everything. Well, since you're not gonna come back on, I guess I'll end my life. It's been nice talking to you all. Have you ever asked a man out on a date? Moi? Yes. Yes, I have. I have a few times. And it's kind of like, I know, I can only imagine how some guys feel when they ask a woman out on a date and she says, you know, she says no. So I had this feeling in the back of my head, damn, what if he say no? But I think most men find that flattering for a woman to ask him out, you know, on a date. I see she's not trying to come. Janae, you're not trying to come back. Boo. Tukey, do you find it flattering for a woman to ask you out on a date? Well, since my co-host is not coming back to my live, I exited out and tried several times. It's over with the one. I guess. Well, I guess we'll try this again tomorrow. Thank you all for tuning in to the powder room. But I guess I'll talk to you all later. And Janae, I'll call you in a minute. Toodles.